Hi, I'm Mike Soltis, the board chair for Bread for Life, and welcome to our home on Vermont Avenue. What you're about to see is our operation from the inside, all the things that Bread for Life is doing to ensure that no one in our community is going hungry, particularly during this pandemic. Your support that you provide is what keeps us going, and we need it more than ever as we enter into our annual appeal season. Soon you'll be getting a letter from us, or just go right to our Southington Bread for Life website, and you can make a donation that will support us during this challenging time. Thank you very much, and come on inside.
Thanks for joining us. We'd like to share with you what's been happening here at Bread for Life. We much prefer to do this in person, but until we can do that safely, we're glad you joined us virtually. A lot of things are different for all of us because of the pandemic. And everything about how we're serving is different here at Bread for Life. But one thing that hasn't changed is our commitment to our mission. Just as we have for the past 36 years, Bread for Life is here to ensure that no one goes hungry in Southington. And we're only able to do that because of the generosity of our community who has supported us through these very difficult days. Welcome to our new normal. Everything is different in all of our lives, and I'd like to take a few minutes to tell you how things have changed here at Bread for Life. Our beautiful dining room is now turned into a prep area for all the to-go meals that we have to put together. But let me step back for a minute. In mid-March, when Governor Lamont put in the stay home, stay safe order, all of our volunteers sheltered at home for safety. In 2019, we had 5,400 hours of volunteer service here at Bread for Life, which equates to about 180 hours per week. So without volunteers here, our capacity and our operations changed dramatically. Bob, Missy, and I were cooking and packaging all the meals here at Bread for Life, and our Southington Community Emergency Response Team was delivering them to our homebound clients. In addition, we were inundated with calls from individuals who needed groceries. People who normally don't use the services of Bread for Life were in dire straits because people that they relied on for groceries, maybe a neighbor or a family member who was not able to go out because of the shelter-in-place order, found themselves without groceries. So after we served the meals, Missy and I drove bags of groceries to people all over town to make sure that they had the necessary groceries to get through those initial very dark days of the pandemic. In June, we were able to bring back our delivery volunteers with all new safety guidelines, and we were able to begin our children's summer lunch program. This summer, in a totally new format, we provided 1,500 lunches to students in need. We did a contactless grab and go option at 4 locations so that children could get the nutritional lunches that they need. The pandemic has also had an impact on our budget in a couple of different ways. We have less volunteers, less food, and we have seen an increase of 40% in those people who are coming to the soup kitchen for their meal and for those who need a homebound meal delivery. The pandemic has caused incredible economic challenges for a lot of our families, and families in Southington have not been immune to that. Hospitality is our middle name, and that's something we really take pride in here at Bread for Life. So one of the most difficult parts in this pandemic is how we serve. We normally served on china plates with real utensils and real glasses, and now everything has to be packaged in disposable to-go containers and served in a plastic bag in a to-go fashion. So all of those items put together add an additional $1.72 per meal. So that's had a large impact on our budget because that's not normally how we serve, but we've had to do that in order to meet the guidelines. We are serving from our front porch. Some people who come here for their meals take their meals and go home to eat them, but some stay here. And we have benches and we play music outdoors and have been able to keep up that sense of camaraderie and hospitality that we have in some small ways. But the sense of people all coming in and eating together and sharing a meal and sharing conversation and friendship really has changed dramatically. With our homebound clients, that has changed as well. Normally, our volunteers know all of our homebound clients. They'll go into their homes or apartments. They will put the meal on their table. They'll check in. Sometimes the volunteers would get their mail, straighten out a rug that might be out of place, and just do a well check of our homebound clients. But with the new safety guidance, we're not able to do that. So what we do for our homebound clients is knock on the door and leave the pre-packaged meal on their front door knob. So this has been a big change, and we're concerned about our clients facing isolation and not having as many people check on them. And so that's a big concern we have for our homebound clients.
Good evening. My name is Missy Cipriano. I'm the Director of Operations here at Bread for Life. COVID-19 has placed a huge burden on all of us in every community, in every state, across our world. We here at Bread for Life want to first begin by saying thank you. Thank you to our community for constantly being right by our side, every step of the way, making sure that our mission, that no one goes hungry, stays alive and well. We did not do this alone. We did it as a team, and our community were part of the biggest team. Everyone came in and helped in big ways and small ways. Food donations poured in, leaving them on our steps, making sure that we weren't without when stores were closed and we could not get what we needed. Financial support came in from small businesses, large corporations, and especially our local restaurants. Many of our local restaurants came in on a week-to-week and month-to-month basis, supplying us with their own personal cooked food out of their restaurants. We thank you. We are constantly remembered because everyone's mission, that no one goes hungry in our community, is strong, and it's not Bread for Life just leading the torch. It's all of us together, and we thank you for joining us and having that mission accomplished. Here at Bread for Life, we service clients from ages 1 through 99. Our client service extends from seniors in their homes who can no longer drive or cook for themselves, to seniors in senior housing that we supply a group meal for. Of course, to our young people during the summertime to make sure that their meals will not be skipped even when school is out. And mainly to our clients that come here at the soup kitchen every day. Calendar House, because of their closure being a town agency, also needed help feeding some of their seniors. We were able to supply those meals to those clients, and they delivered them. That's what a team effort does in our community. Some of the client services that we offered during our COVID 2020 to make sure that each one of our clients knew how special they were. We made sure that there were free COVID testing. There was also flu shots offered, and we also had the census come to make sure they knew that they were part of the count in our state of Connecticut. We have issues that arise where people need showers or need special items that they cannot go out and afford. And we are gracious to our donors that we're able to give those to them as they ask and as we have them. Our clients call up regularly asking for different things, and their needs continue to increase. During this time, we see our seniors in more need than ever because of their fear for their safety. And we are grateful that we're able to service more seniors than we have in the past 2 years. Bread for Life survives almost 90% on volunteerism. That is one of the biggest tasks that I have the privilege of being in charge of. I love it because everyone in this community wants to give and be part of every one of the programs that we run. Due to COVID-19, our volunteerism had changed. We can no longer have the amount of people in the building that we used to. All the churches in our community that would come in week after week and serve and make lunches, we can no longer have them here. Our youth programs that we run, youth service to young kids that will come in and make projects and cards for our seniors, we can no longer do due to COVID-19. That didn't stop our volunteers from coming forward and being creative in ways to make sure that our clients get service. Our young people who came out and made cookies on their own and sold them to neighbors and friends and came with a check. To those who are crocheting little soap bags so they can make sure that little gifts are given to our seniors. Those treats are also a way of volunteerism. From the food drives that were done from neighborhood to neighborhood. One sticks out that a pizza block party went on for 2 weeks on a weekend. And they all did that to honor Bread for Life and to make sure that their volunteerism didn't end just because they could not be in the building or be part of a program. Without our volunteers, it seems a little bit more quiet, but our mission is still staying strong. We thank you that your volunteerism is not just with your hands and feet, but it's with your heart. And we want you guys to remember that when this comes to a clear, that our doors will be open once again to reignite our volunteer programs and to have everyone working together here at Bread for Life to supply all the needs for those people that we serve. We thank you for your willingness at all times to want to be able to help and know that we have you on our list and we will be calling you soon.
There are a dozen stories found within these walls of this warehouse. Last year, a 10-year-old girl took her red wagon and walked through her neighborhood asking for food donations to feed hungry children. After the third house, she filled the wagon, had to return home, and asked her dad for his pickup truck. They then completed going through the entire neighborhood, and she picked up 300 pounds of donated food. This proves that even a child of 10 years old can make a difference. The food here can take a few paths. Of course, some of the food goes to our kitchens to prepare meals. Others go directly to the needy outside these walls. These tables hold food for our weekly distribution for our homebound friends. Since COVID, our demand has grown by 300%. For this program alone, we are projecting over 10,000 pounds will be used for this program, or 5 tons by the end of the year. This illustrates the COVID impact. With expanding demand for food and reduced donations, our food inventory has dropped. Last quarter, the food intake was 50% less than the prior year at the same period. In these shelves, you can clearly see that there is reduction in food intake. Each of these trays once had food, and now they are empty. The postal food drive was eliminated this year, and that drive alone is a loss to us of 8,000 pounds of food, or 4 tons. Many of the small businesses and industrial companies have canceled their food drives. Another program is the Fuel for School program, where we would take water and snack foods to 5 of our public schools, and they would be given to hungry kids. Also, we conduct a mobile food van, which we go into community housing and set up a pop-up pantry. Our demand continues to grow, and our donation levels are shrinking dramatically.
I'm Chef Bob, executive chef at Bread for Life, and today we'll be doing chicken fried steak. We'll get started with the deep frying of the cube steak. You will know when that is hot enough, just when that flour blooms like that, which looks good. So I have buttermilk here, an egg. It's about 3 cups of buttermilk, 1 egg. What we're gonna do, just dredge these in here, both sides. In the flour, I have salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of Cajun seasoning. We're gonna dip them back into our egg and milk mixture. So we'll do this one more time, then we'll be ready. These won't take long. You'll know when to flip them. You could feel it on the tongs, and it'll be a light crust on the bottom. This actually is one of the favorites. I serve this probably 2 times a month. Okay, you give these about 2 minutes aside. They're nice golden brown. We're gonna finish these off in the oven. Go right in here. Put it on about 350. Put the timer on 10 to 12 minutes. So when that's in the oven, you can start on the gravy. Half and half. You can even use regular milk. We're at like a simmer here, which is perfect. What I'm gonna add is a little bit of bacon grease. I'm gonna add some chopped sausage. Now we're gonna add our roux, which is just equal parts of flour and butter. And we're just gonna whisk that in there. Add some salt, black pepper. We'll add a little bit of heat to it. We've been very lucky. We have our own garden. There's a group of about 6 ladies that come 2 or 3 times a week that tend the garden. There's carrots, there's celery. They've grown kohlrabi, of course tomatoes, squash, cucumbers. We've had pumpkins, a variety of tomatoes. Spices range from fresh oregano, rosemary, thyme, basil, tarragon. I have to give hats off to my crew of volunteers. I couldn't do this without them. Also made some red bliss potatoes. I have fresh carrots from the garden. Take our gravy. Fresh parsley from the garden. Also some nice tomatoes from our garden. And there you go. Bread for Life's chicken fried steak. Bon appetit.